Somebody has a near-death experience, they say, "Oops, I believe in the afterlife now." May have not before, but it is extremely real. So that cancels out certain worldviews or puts red flags up.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and that was kind of the point I was going to make is again, when you start to look at the depictions of the otherworldly, when we look at near death experiences, the Steve and I want to look at it from the lens of okay, what are extremely common reports. We don't necessarily want to focus super hardcore on the genre of heaven tourism and getting these really nitty gritty specific details that may or may not be true. We can't really confirm or deny them. But what we can do is we can begin to look for patterns that emerge across many of the accounts. And then from there say, okay, it's safe to assume there's a city. It's safe to assume there's a landscape. It's safe to assume people are seeing their family members deceased on the other side. So you can kind of start to build up some of these characteristics of that other world and then pull those back down and say, okay, based off of the worldviews that we have available to us, what makes the most sense of this city, what makes the most sense of the presence of God, what makes the most sense of the being of light, as well as some of the other characteristics of otherworldly that we didn't necessarily, well, I think we did mention them on the otherworldly episode, is we talked about things like mind to mind communication. There wasn't a usage of tongues, as it were. It's a kind of a soul to soul connection and discussion. And so these are some really supernatural elements of this place that people are going to upon their near death experience